Hello, my name is Sebbi and welcome back to the coffee break in Minecraft. Today is Wednesday, October 18th, 2017. The first session of the teaching and learning with AR and VR applications took place yesterday. Surprisingly, it was good. It was very good. I'm still super excited. I'm still over the moon that it was quite successful, at least from my perspective. It was successful because I saw no fear in the eyes of the students after we revealed the grand plan, the grand and overall plan of the seminar, which is to develop and implement a very own AR or VR application, and this is good. This is very good. I'm super happy that it was so good and that no one seemed to be super scared and super concerned, and that they were all quite interested. Well, of course, we used a trick. We used a very, very mean trick, because right after the initial introduction, we did a first get your first hand experience with AR or VR. So we had several smartphones as well as our Vive computer, and so the students had the opportunity to experience AR and VR for the very first time. And by creeper, this is probably bad. And by very first time, I really mean very first time. Careful. Oh snap! I'm out of arrows. Have I stored the arrows in the chest, or am I really out of arrows? This would be This would be very, very bad. I guess I need to search for some new arrow dispensers. I need to kill a couple of skeletons in order to get some more arrows again. Oh, speaking of arrows, this is good. Let's grab this one. Yeah, it was the very first time for most of them. I think we had 26 students or so yesterday, and only 2 or 3 of them had some experiences with VR or AR. And so, yeah, it was a wild success. For the high-end VR systems, so for the HTC Vive, I used my Affine Transformation training game, because, hey, it makes sense. It's designed to achieve a training effect, so it's perfect for young teachers that they can really see, okay, this technology makes sense. And all of them who have tried it and who at least looked at the normal monitor, because the good thing about the Vive is that you can also see the gameplay on the normal monitor, which is attached to the computer, and or which is connected to the computer rather. So yeah, this is good. This is awesome. So they all saw what happened, and it was so amazing to see those students who are really experiencing it for the very first time, and they were super overwhelmed by the room scale VR, that is the special technology of the HTC Vive, that they can walk around in the tracking area. So yeah, they can actually walk, and their movement is tracked inside of the virtual environment, which is awesome. And so they try to kneel, they try to walk, to jump, and also pretty cool is that my Affine Transformation training game is in a futuristic setting. So you're basically in a virtual room which is floating in space. So when you get closer to the edge and the sides of the room, you can basically look into a void. Well, not into a void, but into the universe. Basically, a lot of stars are around, And it was interesting to see how they slowly got closer to the edge and looked down and were super overwhelmed. Also, I was super impressed that they managed to solve some of the puzzles. So I just had to explain them what is the goal of the game, and they did it. So this was awesome. This was also great feedback from me, which made me super happy because, hey, apparently my system also works for teachers, and that's good. That's very good. One student afterwards said that, well, I never really enjoyed math, but if math would have been presented that way, then wow, this would have been awesome. And this is also a comment I received a lot during my experiments when I had a group of students playing the game in order so that I can measure the training effect, and they reported the same. So that's cool. This is awesome. So yeah, to make a long story short, after this initial trick, they were hooked up. They were interested, and I think they like the idea. And now comes the hard part, because now we have to teach them. Now we have to give them all the information we want to give them, and help them, dang it, and help them accomplishing their goals and developing the system. This, of course, is not that simple because, yeah, I had a designated student worker for this task, but unfortunately our seminar overlaps with 2 other courses of my research group, and as a result, the students, or all the students I wanted to have as a student worker, can't be a student worker anymore because, well, our seminar is overlapping with their courses. So yeah, this was bad. This was very bad. Luckily, we also have a games engineering program, and we talked to the professor of the games engineering program, and well, I received an application from a games engineering student, and so I hope that, yeah, everything will have good end. I mean, this would be awesome. This would be truly amazing when we have someone who helps them with technical issues, with getting started using Unity. Yeah, this would be good, and this really caused some headache because I learned about the fact that, hey, we have overlapping courses and I can't be your student worker 1 week before our seminar started. So yeah, no fun at all, but apparently everything is coming to a good end, which is good, which is super awesome. So yeah, I will keep you posted about oh yes, I stored all the arrows in here. This explains a lot. I will keep you posted about all the things and all the progress we made and how everything is coming along in the where have I left the horse, by the way? In the seminar. As you hear, I'm excited. I'm really excited, and I hope this excitement will continue. And I hope that that's the horse, that the students will stick with us. I hope when we have the next session, so next Tuesday, we still have at least 20 students or so, that not everyone is saying, all right, I do have to do some programming or some scripting in the end. I'm out. I am out. That's it. This would be sad. So yeah, please keep your fingers crossed that this won't happen, because it would be sad. It would be so sad, super sad. And yeah, so much about this. Is there? Yes, there are some other things. Last weekend I visited my grandparents, changing tires because winter is coming, and also I did some hiking in the good old Fichtelgebirge, and it was awesome in the Fichtel Mountains to be there to explore this. I even discovered a new part of it where I need to go next time and where I need to start my hike, because yeah, I was already about 2 hours into the hike until I got to this particular point where I saw some new terrain, some unseen scenery, and yeah, so I had not enough time to really explore it in detail, and so I have to return to it. Also, we have super beautiful weather right now. We have temperatures of around 20 centigrade, which is crazy for October. I mean, it's the middle of October and we have those high temperatures. So what is going on? Once again, global warming. Really, is this necessary? But on the other hand, because we had such a good and beautiful and warm weather, I was also, as I reached the summit of one of the mountains, up there are some they call it a rock sea. I'm not quite sure if there's also a good translation for it. Basically, it's very, very huge boulders are lying at one particular spot, and so the summit of the mountain basically consists of boulders, and you can get on top of them, you can walk around them, look down from them, enjoy a beautiful and very, very marvelous view over the landscape, because it's also a great vantage point. Yeah, because it was so warm and calm and beautiful weather, no one was around, I decided, hey, I could just stay here for a little bit. Ooh, there's an arrow dispenser, but since I got my arrows back, I don't really have to take it out. Yeah, I decided, okay, let's have a rest there, and it was really, really great to just lie around there. It wasn't even cold because it was so warm and no wind, so the stones were even warm, and so I was able to lie around there for quite some time, and it was great. I almost forgot about time, and then I had to hurry back home. I had to hurry down the mountain to get to my grandparents because, yeah, we wanted to, or they were waiting with some coffee and cakes and all this great stuff for me, and yeah, in this case, I don't want to let them down, and so I rushed back home. And yeah, so it was really a great day in the Fischl Mountains. So yeah, well, I really like to continue with the Iceland report, but there's one particular thing I like to talk about. Every Monday there is a group of garbage trucks. I think they are, in most of the cases, 3 garbage trucks in a row, which, in addition to all the normal traffic, causes some problems when I want to get to work. And so on Monday I decided, okay, I can now either shave, because normally I'm not a beard person, so normally it's one of the most important things in the morning is to shave. And then I just thought, okay, I can either shave or I can leave early and escape this garbage truck issue. So right now I'm trying out the Indiana Jones style, and I'm not quite sure if I like it. I'm not quite sure if I really like to have this scruffy look, or if, yeah, not. So I think I will do this experiment until the end of the week, and then just shave it off again, I guess. So it's interesting. I'm really not a beard person, so the Indiana Jones style is probably the most of beard I will ever have. And yeah, right now I'm just giving it a try, and I'm not quite sure if I like it or not. We also had some fun about it, that because I asked my colleagues, what do you think about it? And I got a reply, well, it's hard to judge because there's no direct comparison. And then I said, well, I guess I have to do the Phantom of the Opera scenario, so just shave half of the face or so. Oh man, no, this is a thing I won't do. Or will I? Find out next time. Oh dear. Okay, Iceland report. Last time I spoke about the drive from Húsavík to Egilsstaðir, And I also said, okay, we drove through some beautiful valleys, and there were a lot of waterfall and beautiful creeks coming down from the mountains down the slopes, which looked awesome, which looks really awesome because the sun was shining. So you have greenish terrain, and then you have this white water, which is awesome. It looked fantastic to look along the valley, to look along the slopes, and to see all this beautiful scenery. And then we got to the bridge, the final bridge that was going over a lake next to Egelstadir, and as said, the water level was relatively high, and we even saw some regions that were flooded around this bridge where trees were standing around, so we assumed, okay, normally there shouldn't be water. Yes, this is where the adventure starts, because there was this huge hurricane in the States, and after the hurricane was done doing all this hurricane stuff, it drifted away to the east, to the northeast, and it came across Iceland. Well, it came across the southeastern part of Iceland, and it was basically raining all day long since we arrived. Luckily, we've been in the northeastern part, so we had no rain. But yeah, it was raining a lot in the southeastern part, so the rivers were swollen. There were even landslides. Sheep drowned because of the flood that was coming down the mountains. And yeah, there was so much water that even the main road, there's a ring road going all around Iceland, that this road was damaged and got closed. So yeah, this was bad, and we were then a little bit concerned because the bridge was one way getting back to the north, and then we're just, the only other option would be to continue along the ring road, and to, yeah, in order to continue south. But since the road was closed down there was a question, well, what happens if it continues to rain, if the lake continues to fill up and the bridge gets flooded? So this was concerning. This was concerning indeed. Yeah, so especially it was concerning because the Icelandic Met Service continued to forecast some rain, and yeah, it was also quite devastating for the tourism industry, of course, because in the accommodation where we stayed, a lot of people who booked canceled, and 1 or 2 days we were basically alone. We were alone, and it was crazy because they offered some buffet to breakfast, and no one else was around, and it was a huge breakfast. So I even questioned, is this the right approach? Do you really need to offer so much food? I mean, of course it's nice to have the choice, but when there's no one around and in the end they have to throw it away because they already put it on the table, then why wasting food? But that's a completely different thing. Okay, so much about where the adventure starts and why there was an adventure. Next day, September 29th. September 29th, we had rain. This was also a little bit problematic. We were in the East Fjords. We wanted to see the East Fjords. Beautiful environment, but yeah, rain. Lots of rain. So we decided, okay, let's just drive around. Let's just explore it a little bit. We drove at first to the town where the ferry arrives, because you can get to Iceland either by plane or by ferry, and so we drove to the town where the ferry arrives. Looked around there. They had some beautiful colored houses which looked really awesome. They also had a rainbow street, so this was colorful. This was awesome. I really enjoyed it. Unfortunately it was raining, so this was a little bit the sad thing about it. And yeah, so we explored this town, And then we saw that, hey, if we drive around, or if we follow this road and we drive around, or we follow the fjord, then we get to the end of the fjord, to the end of the land where a lighthouse is located. So yeah, let's get there. Let's drive there. On the way there, we saw a shipwreck, which was interesting to explore. It was also quite wet to explore because it was raining. It was raining cats and dogs. But yeah, it was nice. Unfortunately, we've been also partly in the clouds. There's, yeah, very, very low clouds. This was quite also adventurous, as yeah, we had to drive up and down some serpentine roads, and we were in the clouds. So the good thing is you were not able to see the bottom of the gorge, because on the right hand side you had the cliff, and on both sides you had a cliff, but on the one hand side the cliff was going up, and on the other side it was going down, which, yeah, might be problematic when you don't see the road. So yeah, this was interesting, and this already concludes September 29th. And nothing much happened due to the rain. We drove around, found the lighthouse, found a shipwreck, interesting. But yeah, that's about it. The next day, rain again, of course rain. So yeah, those were the really rainy days, unfortunately. We heard about a cliff. We continued to explore the East Fjords. Let me just see that I get it right. Continued, this is correct. Horse, excuse me, horse. 1, 2, 3, yes, this is correct, very nice. This is not so good. We continued to explore the East Fjords, and we got to a part called Saxar. As you know, I have issues pronouncing Icelandic names properly. Saxa, however you want to pronounce it. Apparently this is called, or this is Mixer or so in Icelandic, and it has the name because this cliff has not really a cave, but the form of the cliff allows the water to it's basically a little bit like this. You have the open water here, and the water can also flow in here and flow between the cliff into the cliff, and it gets at one point right here in the cliff. So basically it would continue this way, and then you would be here where suddenly there's just rock. So if there's a high wave coming along this way through this narrow fjord-like scenario, and it reaches the end, the water splashes against the cliffs, and it shoots into the air. It shoots high into the air, and in this process it also takes with it some algae, and this algae is cut into smaller pieces due to the force of the water. Hence the place is called Mixer, basically. And yeah, it's fantastic when you stand there and suddenly there's a plume of water shooting high into the air, and there are a lot of algae in it, and you saw all the stuff being distributed all around this hole. So you already knew, okay, don't get too close to it, or you might be wet. So this was awesome, and we were lucky that there were some high waves. Not really high waves. I guess it can be more impressive. But it was still pretty cool to see this. And yeah, then we continued to drive around. Nothing special to really write home about or so this day. Just that what I at first described as a really beautiful thing, all this water coming down the slopes of the mountains, looks gorgeous. It's fantastic. But when you realize, okay, all this water is coming down because it's raining, and it doesn't not stop to rain, and you see even more water coming down the slopes. This is quite concerning, and this was also a point where I started to tweet again about global warming, and yeah, we see the effects. We can't deny it. It's a real thing. So all those people that say, hey, this is just a hoax, maybe you should look out of the window or so. maybe, just maybe. It's just a gentle tip, just a notch into the right direction. Maybe just look out of the window and think about what you see. So yeah, luckily this September 30th was the last real rainy day. The rain stopped the next day, and we managed to continue exploring the beautiful environment, the beautiful landscape of Iceland. Unfortunately, we are at the end of this episode, so I will continue to talk about the journey to Iceland in the next episode. And I hope you are already excited, because, hey, we somehow have to find a way in the next few days to get to the south, more to the south, because we drove to the north and we wanted to continue south. Unfortunately, too much rain. Road got destroyed, road got closed, and yeah, what now? What now will be answered in the next episode, probably. I hope you have enjoyed this episode, and yeah, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, my name is Sebbi. See you!